Hello, how are you?
Hey, Crypty, how's it going?
It's going good. It's nice to meet you. RH memes to Mars.
Great to meet you too. Officially, I've been following you for so long. Your work is fantastic, and I'm so happy you're here. It's awesome. Thank you for doing this.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy you're here. I didn't expect all the comments to come in when I posted a space today, so it seems like there's a lot of active people in the RH memes community, and that's great to see.
100%. The momentum is definitely building. We have some amazing people here, Pedro being like our fearless leader. And so I'm happy that it sounds like he's going to be on as well too. But thank you so much for being an influencer in Pulsechain that's receptive to this whole narrative, because it's incredible. And it's amazing to all of us here on the outside that nobody's paying attention, nobody cares. And those we approach give us the cold shoulder, you know? So thank you.
Oh, that's unfortunate to hear. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of be a facilitator to learn more about the RH memes and for others in our Pulse Chain community to learn about them too. So I'm very new to them. I just got turned on to them. I'm starting to learn about each of them, and it is true. No one's really talking about it, so that's what this space is for. I'm just going to be the facilitator and open up the conversation. What?
Amazing. Thank you. Well, we have two other masters here, Pulsexy and the meme Hexagon. These guys are fantastic. I follow their work as well, and they were here long before I was. So, yeah. I'll just tell you from my perspective, though, I always look out for blue ocean opportunities. And within Pulse Chain, without Pulse Chain, right? All the above in crypto, I'm looking for what has an amazing new narrative, what's a new coin, new opportunity that can do very, very well. And I love Richard Hart. I mean, I love the core four coins. I'm all about them, very heavily invested in those. And I believe in their potential long term to bring a lot of freedom and prosperity to people around the world. So I'm all about that. But I definitely also see, I'm not blind, the massive sell pressure, the immense liquidity in all of these coins, the history behind them, lots of dumpers out there. I was doing a video today just talking about folks like Rackham Rochelle, right? Who
Mhm.
I think the guy's a big dumper and a liability for our chain, but that's my opinion. So when I find an opportunity like this with coins that are linked to, maybe not necessarily launched truly by like the guy pushed the button, Richard Hart, but somebody on the team or somebody related to the team. We know that he came out and promoted Pump.tires. We all assume that he created the platform, right? And all of these 20 coins are associated with with that originator in some way. And so for me, it's like, holy cow, we've got 20 new, basically potentially RH tickers right here that everybody's sleeping on. And what's even more bullish to me is the opportunity and I believe the potential usage of these for marketing the chain. So having the Doge and Pepe and Solana and BTC, all of these are going to be tremendous, in my opinion, for marketing and bringing people from those communities over to Pulse Chain. Because when
Sure,
Doge
yeah.
is popping off and it's doing crazy numbers on Pulse Chain, everybody on the Doge side, and we're going to be talking to them, guys, we love Doge, you love Doge, come join us. Look at all the gains we're making over here. You guys are already a top 8 coin. So your opportunity is pretty slight by comparison to this over here. And anyway, so it's a great way to bring all this new attention over here and attract a lot of new dollars into the ecosystem. And I think I could be wrong, but I believe that is the ultimate plan for these coins. So we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure as all these thousands of devices are being sent out and soon million, um, with us having a Doge on Pulse Chain, the pump tire meme version, with us having a Pepe on Pulse Chain, that's gonna be really attractive, I feel like, to newcomers. Because Pepe already did a 10,000x. In the first half of 2024, it only took half a year, Pepe did a 10,000x, and we have our own meme Pepe on Pulse Chain, launched by the Pump.tires dev. And then we've got our own Doge, and Doge didn't quite do a 10,000x, but it did an amazing job. So we have all the big names for memes that have done well already. We've got ADA. There's there's Sol, there's Tron. Trump, I think that's pretty awesome. But yeah, there's 20 of these, and then there's some stable coins too, which I find amusing. And they're all, now this is where it gets really interesting to me, is that they're all linked to most likely Richard Hart, because the dev that made them on Pump.tires, they were all launched when Richard Hart announced Pump.tires went live, and he has a screenshot of Trump and Pump, the memes on it, that were launched an hour before he announced it. So even if he didn't create it, he's related to it and he's approved it, basically. And then him transferring his pDai into, what was it? He transferred his pDai
Into most, yeah. Sold some pDai for most. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, so that's so interesting to me. So all these things are starting to connect the dots, and I think we should give more attention to these RH memes.
I could not agree more, Crypty. Absolutely. Well, like I said, we have some amazing people showing up. Pedro's here, so I'd love to have him come out and share his thoughts. But man, it's exciting.
Okay, I just approved Pedro as a speaker. So Pedro, welcome. Thank you for joining my space.
Hi, Crypty. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey, how are you doing? Thanks for the invite.
Oh, I'm doing good. Thank you for teaching us about the RH memes on your YouTube channel. I saw a couple of your streams, so I've been learning more about it from you.
Oh man, thanks. But I mean, there's so many people, right? As you can see, that are deep into the RH memes. I'm glad that the videos are helping. The YouTube channel and the streams are helping. I will continue to do them. But I think like the community is actually growing a lot. Like over the past, let's say, 1-2 months, I've seen a lot of new accounts, new people interested in the in the thematics of the RH memes. So that's a very good sign. And the best sign is that there's not many, big KOLs actually speaking about them. Right? They're still a little bit. Not sure if afraid or unsure, right, about the origin, or if people like them or not. So maybe maybe afraid is a good word. But like what you were talking about is actually the pretty important stuff. That when Pump.tires was launched, right, we got RH being the first one. As far as I'm aware, right? As far as I'm aware, he was the first one to ever tweet about it, which at least to me it has a significant, or it's quite significant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also the fact that as you guys were discussing, right, when the pDai debacle happened, like I think for the third time, the third exploit, Richard sold his pDai and bought most, and so I think some other. So I mean, there's like there's the blockchain stuff, right? Of Richard doing something with his money, right? It doesn't mean that everybody should do that, right? But at least it's it's pointing into like some direction, right? That it kind of supports this new narrative, and I think it would be very unlikely that Pump.tires had been launched without his knowledge, just because he was the first one to tweet about it, and he kind of spoke about like most and some other memes quite a few times. So it makes, at least to me, right, little sense that he would speak about it so much and then put it on the marketing stuff, right? Put it on the marketing stuff and not be related to it, right? So
Right.
I'm like, yeah, at least to me it makes total sense that he's behind Pump.tires, right?
Right.
And as I say, yeah, he's not the dev, right? So he hires people to do things, and we should not confuse, right, the Pump.tires Twitter account with the Pump.tires platform, right? Because the Twitter account, at least I remember, like, there was a tweet from him saying that there's no like official Pump.tires, like, Twitter account, right? So I think that account is not. It might not be related, right? I have no idea. I do like that account anyways, but I'm not sure if it's related or not. But the platform Pump.tires, yeah, for sure is related to him, right? In some manner, right?
Right.
So yeah, that's my opinion. And as you were saying, there's like 20 of them, and right now people are still, when they talk about them, they usually talk about most, right? There's obviously huge community for BitcoinHex, for Sol, for Pepe, like for a bunch of them, right? But big influencers usually talk about most, maybe Pump, right? But that's pretty much it. They kind of ignore the others. And what I think it will happen, right, is that as these, sub communities grow, they will drive a lot of attention, right? And as the prices of these coins move a lot, these sub communities will be able to attract like a significant portion of the new entrants, right? And the people that are entering Pulsechain, right? Because one, these coins can be linked to Richard Hart, right? I'm not saying that I know for a fact it's his, right? But I would say like I'm like 90% inclined to say that it's related, right? So people that are coming, they kind of see these new coins related to Richard, and they're new, right? So they see them as something new, something fresh, something that could pump easily, right? Or more easily than the cores, I guess. So yeah, that's I mean, there's so much more to say, I guess, but I think like these communities will develop into something like something important within Pulsion, right? Some big communities will emerge, I'm sure. That's what at least that's what I feel, right, about the RH memes.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. And I want to learn more from you too. And thank you for creating rhmemes.com. I've been looking at that and it's made it really clear to see the market cap of all the memes and the liquidity webs, what's hot right now. So well done on that. And I just added a couple of speakers too. So welcome. Thank you guys for coming to my space. And I want to read some of these descriptions that the RH memes have on Deck Screener. If it's all right with you guys, I'm just going to take a minute. So if any of you are new to learning about the RH memes like I am, I think these are pretty interesting. So Trump, the meme description, says the best president ever. This coin just shows to respect for President Trump. He doesn't have anything to do with it. Richard Hart's official meme coin deployed on Pump.tires by the same wallet that created Trump and Pump and most. And the description for our Pulsechain Pepe, Richard Hart's Pepe. It says the official Richard Hart Pulsechain Pepe meme, launched by the same wallet that launched Pump.tires. The mission, $1 billion market cap, and overtake Pepe on ETH. And when I go back to the market cap, as we can see it on our RH Pepe, the market cap is currently 799,000. So the goal is to go from about 800,000 market cap to 1 billion. And because these memes are related to Richard Hart, that fact has been established. We know that from history, when Richard says we're going to do something, that it gets done. And even his ego will help guarantee that. Like when he said that Hex was going to do a 10,000x in 2 years, he made sure that happened. so reading these are very interesting. Some of these descriptions. Let's take a look at Doge. It says Dogecoin, the greatest meme coin ever, is now on Pulsechain, launched by Richard Hart. Let's look at XRP. On Pulsechain, Richard Hart's XRP on Pulsechain. XRP could not be forked, therefore Richard created his very own XRP on Pulsechain by deploying it on Pump.tires alongside Most and Pump. Our goal is to reach parity with XRP, harnessing mind share from the XRP army and Pulsechins alike. And as I'm reading these descriptions, it seems pretty clear what the mission is with Richard approving all these memes launched on Pump.tires and sharing them immediately when he announced the launch of Pump.tires. For Cardano, Richard's ADA, it says, the official Richard Hart Pulsechain Cardano meme, launched by the same wallet that launched Pump.tires. The mission, overtake Charles Hoskinson's ADA. Welcome to Pulsechain. We love you. So reading some of these out, I'm like, wow, I really think this is pretty serious, because each of these are using the words official Richard Hart memes. Like all of these memes are using the words official Richard Hart memes. And then when I check the address that launched it, I see that they're all the same address launched them all, and that the big holder of all of these is related to Richard Hart's address. And then the mission is in black and white on these DEX screener token descriptions. It's really clear to me. So having read that, do you guys think that with these descriptions put down that he's serious, that he's going to make all of these things happen, or that these meme coins have the potential to do those things, like overtake Charles Hoskinson's ADA?
I
I
think
don't
they
know if
do.
we'll see a market cap that high, but I do know the burn from Pump.tires has been on fire. The yearly projected pulse burned this year is over 100 billion pulse burned if we maintain the current pace.
Wow.
It's been a good thing. If you
Wow.
go to the website, look into Pump.tires, they have that on there. I don't know how often they update, but the projection right now is 159 billion pulse burn.
That's such a good statistic that you shared. Yeah, okay. It
It's
says
insane.
contract balance 5.24 billion pulses burned. Average daily burn is 436 million pulse.
But if you look, some days are so low on volume of the burn. I'm not sure how accurate that number is. It seems a little high. $6.78 million burned. Seems a little high, but long story short, there is a significant burn happening because of Pump.tires. You guys have fun on Pump.tires. It's a fun little website.
Yeah, I'm checking it out now. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, it says the yearly projection is 159 billion pulse to be burned, which is worth about 6.78 million. That's the number you mentioned. And the average daily burn is about $18,000 of PLS. So if that's true, that's
Wait, what?
actually shocking.
That's
I'm
crazy.
sure, right? I'm sure that's skewed by the first few days when they minted a bunch of coins.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure that number
that's
was
could
affected
be.
big time by that.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, thank you for hopping on too. I'm glad you're here.
Hey, not a problem.
Hey,
Oh,
Crypty, thanks
also, I
for
wanted to mention, I heard somebody was talking about the Pump.tires account on Twitter. That is not a Richard Hart associated account. If you read the banner on Pump.tires, it says warning. Pump.tires hasn't and will not have official social media accounts. Anyone pretending to be Pump.tires on social media is an imposter.
Okay, that's so good to announce again. Thank you for the PSA. Hi,
Johnny
Frog
has
Boy.
Hey, thanks, Crypty Pulse. Thanks for letting me up. Johnny has an awesome accent. It sounds a bit sexy. Hello,
Thank you, man.
Pedro, and hello, RH Meme, Tamaz. I'm just listening. This is like really, this is just like this is fresh air for me, and I'm loving this. So, Crypty, what was that question you just asked just before?
So I asked, with all these DEX screener meme coin descriptions on these RH memes, do you think these meme coins have the potential to do what they're claiming in the descriptions. Not what they're claiming, but to complete the mission. Such as the RH Pepe, it says the mission is a $1 billion market cap and overtake Pepe on ETH. And the Pepe on ETH did a 10,000x. So do you think that's plausible?
I think all the targets on there, I think first of all, number one, they're fantastic to have them so high as well. Number two, I do think they're plausible. I do think they're achievable just simply because of the tokenomics with these vehicles, with these tokens. So Richard Hart, his team, they made them so like primed. So those targets, yeah, like with time, yes. And I think it's just a matter of like, okay, us asking the question, okay, well then what's the time frame? What's the window of time? Like, how quickly do you think they're going to explode, or is it going to be more of a slow cook and then a rip? Or are we talking 3 months? Are we talking 6 months or 6 years? You know what I mean? Because I feel like yes, 100% they're all plausible, especially with these tokenomics, because I think the targets are based on the price, right? Not so much market cap, but price. So yeah, I definitely think it's achievable. And just look over to Ethereum and the other chains for. Look at the best winners, the ones that are winning now. They have ludicrous goals and milestones and things that they're aiming for. And it feels like just while we're on this topic, feels like the RH team and the Pump.tires dev team, the bros that created it, I think they definitely had a lot of the principles and values and wavelengths and ideas that that Murad was talking about over, at token 2049. It feels like they're like nodding, they're nodding to those ideas and principles and stuff like that. The thesis kind of thing. But yeah, I reckon, yeah, I think they're definitely achievable. But with time, yeah.
Right. Good insight. And you mentioned Murad, and Murad is known for plastering everywhere on the internet and at crypto conferences this year that it's a meme coin cycle. This is the cycle of memes. And you mentioned an interesting idea that it seems like these RH memes are a nod to that this cycle is about memes, that memes will be the best performers is what is the mentality. So if that's the case, if that was in mind while these RH memes were created, then it seems to reason these RH memes are expected to outperform in price everything on Pulsechain. Would you guys agree with that? Does anyone want to speak to that?
It's where we currently are in the cycle. I'm not a huge believer in the cycle, whereas we'll see a 70% dip again a year from now. But where we're currently at in the cycle, we still need ETH to outperform or at least make new highs, right? So until you get to the point where ETH is making new highs, you will not see an altcoin, at least in a small cap altcoin season. The money needs to flow from the rich to the plebs. It's just the way it is in any market on the planet.
True that. Agreed.
Let me actually disagree with that kindly, obviously.
Whoa.
Yeah, because like from like recent past experience. For example, pDai, right? pDai did about 10,000x, right, from the bottom, and it was mostly internal money, right, internal to Pulsechain that was rotating from cores and other memes, etc., into pDai, right? So I do think it's actually possible that some of these coins do, I don't know, 100x, maybe 1,000x,
Oh,
only with
absolutely. You're right. That happens monthly on this chain. I agree.
Exactly. But I agree with you when the proper money comes, new money from the ETH craziness, right? I do agree that we can go much further, right? So what I mean is, if one of these coins actually does, for example, 1000x before we have that new money coming flooding into Pulsechain, then like you can do much more than 10,000x, which sounds absolutely insane, I know, but it's just how it is, right? Because I think the difference between the RH memes now and pDai is that because the RH memes are newer and fresher, if we do have the next leg up, I don't know, in the next 3 months, right? And we see Ethereum doing new all-time highs and new money coming into Pulsechain from there. I think it's possible that we see some of these coins doing crazy numbers just because a lot of the attention will be into these new coins, right? And it will be attention from people who are already in Pulsechain and the people who are coming into Pulsechain. So it's double the attention, I mean. And yeah, so I do think it's absolutely possible just because of timing, right? Just because of timing.
Yes, I absolutely agree. I just think we're a little early or premature to see multiple coins blow off top. But I'll say this: you saw Vouch within the past 2-3 weeks do 1000x. I'm not sure who's familiar with that launch. Unfortunately, I missed it, but the people who did catch that launch are making a killing right now. But we need more money to flow into this chain to see multiple coins do what Vouch did. If you look at most Pump.tires launches and meme launches, the charts are very similar. They'll pop off, they'll moon a little bit, and then they just keep going down and to the right. I think ZK Sync is a pretty good example of that. The market cap was sky high for a while, and then it just bled down for the next month. And now it's, I don't know, 20 something K, maybe 30K. But if these LCD devices, these tablets work, and we see even 3% of the people buy Pulsechain in these rich neighborhoods, these rich zip codes, get ready. Every one of your wildest dreams is going to come true and more.
That's something I'm
100%.
so excited about too. That's going to be such a huge marketing campaign for Pulsechain. We're very lucky to have Richard and so many supporters making that happen and facilitating that.
Yeah, I feel like yeah, what Johnny and Pedro was saying, I 100% agree with both of them. Yeah, in terms of the cycle timing and Ethereum going up first, and then people getting greedy and drunk, and then looking to repeat the greed and like, hey, I just made a killing, where can I look to next? And they go up and up the risk curve and etc. etc. And I love Pedro's point as well. Like people are making 1000x's on the chain without the outsiders, without the people, without new money and new fresh money and stuff like that. And I feel like these devices and the timing of Pump.tires, I just think like just from an outsider's perspective and hearing from my family about, well, Pulsechain for the past 2.5 years, etc., nothing was enticing me. And then I hear about the Pump.tire RH memes. I thought, oh, hey, I know memes. This is fun. This is fresh. It's fun and fresh. Like I don't want to really look elsewhere, but this is fun and fresh, and it made it really easy for me to roll on to this ramp up into the Pulsechain, and then I hear about these devices as well, and then on the devices it has Pump.tires, new coins. I was like, holy moly. Okay, and then on top of that, we have like a crypto meme himself, Richard Hart. Like he is a crypto meme, and he's leading this. He's leading this front. His ego, he has the biggest ego in crypto, and whether we like it or not, it's very polarizing. And it's like, holy crap! They put these jigsaw pieces together. We're putting the ingredients in this soup. We're stirring it around. It's like, oh, it smells good. It smells really good. And yeah, that's why I had to come over. Even though I really did dislike, I even hated Pulsechain. I was just getting sick of it. I hated it. But now I had no choice but to buy a few tickets in this narrative and stuff like that. One, because it's fresh and fun and it makes sense, and all these things just, yeah, it's just really attractive. So anyway, thanks for welcoming me to the community.
That's awesome.
Hey, that's awesome, man. It's great to have you here. Yeah.
Hey,
No, absolutely.
thanks, man.
Hey.
Thank you.
Yeah, great to connect with you guys. Yeah, I wanted to add to that point just briefly here. The idea that Richard Hart hates memes, and yeah, there was a narrative from last cycle. I get it. I totally get it. But the guy has set himself up literally as a walking meme billboard. That is Richard Hart. When you go on X and you type in Richard's name, there's a zillion fantastic memes of the guy twerking and he's got the peacock thing in the background and all kinds of crazy stuff, right? Like he is so memeable. It's epic. Walking out of Gucci with all of his bags. He knows exactly what he's doing. Exactly. So when I finally found these and put two and two together about, holy cow, there's all these meme coins that are somehow connected to the founder, Richard Hart, the literal best meme in the world for crypto. It just makes complete sense. So yeah, I think everybody on that team, him being the leader, wants to super send all of these things and just go crazy with it. It's going to be so much fun, so exciting, so intense. And like Pedro was saying too, we can do crazy numbers with these before we even really get moving, before even Ethereum does do its insane returns and send the rest of the market. So that's exciting too. We're that early. Yeah.
Where would the price be right now if it weren't for the red notice? What's everybody's opinion? What would prices be?
Probably the same, I would say.
Yeah, I agree, actually.
Yeah, I don't think that stuff impacts that much the price, to be honest. But I'm like non-expert opinion, obviously. I do think that the market doesn't really care that much, right? Because I mean, there's obviously a certain degree of risk, right? But I think, at least from my understanding, the market believes that somehow Richard kept, the EOA keys safe, right? So even if he ends up in prison like CZ or something, right? Let's imagine the worst. I don't think that that would mean anything, right? Sure, there would be a dump and etc. But like in terms of sacrifice funds, for example, I don't think that they would be affected at all. So at the end of the day, how much does it matter? Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Pedro,
Yeah.
I found it so bullish. I was like, hey,
Sure.
this guy's on the red notice. This guy's
Yes.
badass.
Exactly. It's more memes, right? So at the end, I think it's positive. It's positive.
So I want to ask your guys' thoughts on why there's a meme BitcoinHex, a meme PLS, a meme PLSX, Pulsechain, and yeah, PLSX. Why would Richard have wanted to recreate those core coins as memes? Why do you think that was?
To avoid ruggers doing that exact thing. It's that simple.
Oh, that's such an interesting thought. To avoid robbers doing that same thing.
Ruggers, but they are robbers.
To avoid brothers?
Rug, R-U-G.
Oh, ruggers. Okay, thank you.
They
for
are robbers. I
clarifying
mean,
that.
you said the right thing. It's just the crypto term is rugger. Rug.
Right. Okay, so that's actually what I thought they were when I didn't know about them, because I check Dex Screener for my portfolio, and it always shows the most popular, the trending, and I saw BitcoinHex because that one's the brightest with the pink logo gradient, and I've seen it since February, but I immediately wrote it off in my mind as a scam. I thought, oh, how sad, like someone's copying Hex and try to get some of the mind share and ride its coattails, having no idea that it was actually one of the official Richard Hart Pump.tire memes. I just didn't know. And then same with PLS and PLSX, because I always wanted to be very careful that I had the official core coin. So seeing those, I thought they were unofficial. But now I've learned the opposite, that they're actually part of the gang.
I
Johnny,
figured it out
Pedro.
once the market caps hit 30 million on everything. I was like, what the heck? This must be Richard.
Johnny, Pedro, RH Max, Crypty, and also Execute. And there's a few guys in the chat that are listening that are pretty cool, and they do a lot of work every day. Like Execute, he does spaces every day, and Pulse Sexy, and the RH Meme, and Crypto Lover, and Pump Bro, and all of them. But I just wanted to ask you guys, can you make duplicates of the same ticker on Pump.tires? So for example, the RH team, yeah, they made Pulsex and Pulse and Hex and all that jazz, but can others make another meme with the same ticker?
Yep.
Yeah, like you can do
That is a
anything, right?
popular scam.
Yeah, sure, absolutely, you can do that.
Okay,
But the one thing you cannot do is, do the same ticker from the same address, right? From the deployer address. That you cannot do, right? So
okay.
That's why it's important to save these, all these contracts. And one of the reasons why I built, the rhmemes.com, just to have like a place with the correct information, let's say, about these coins, like for example the contract addresses, right? So that you avoid those types of scams.
Yep.
I see Executes in the chat. He's also a Spaces guy. He runs Spaces daily. Probably the Spaces goat. Let me glaze Execute a little bit. And if you guys are interested in learning about meme coins, he's a very good resource. He's taught me a ton.
Oh, that's a good shout out. Thank you. I just followed you. Execute. That's good. And yeah, Pedro, it's so helpful having the addresses on your rhmemes.com to make sure that they're all official and that we're getting the right ones. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Yeah, I think this like this whole RH memes narrative at some point will explode, right? We already see some attention going into these coins. People like yourself, trying to discover are they official, are they related to RH, right? In what capacity? And then when you realize that there is some connection, that you read the descriptions and you can start like. The fairy tale. You can start making up the stories. Imagining, sorry, the possibilities, and that's what I think will drive these memes prices upwards, right? Because apart from the deployer launch and those transactions where pDai was sold for most, I don't remember that many transactions, regarding the deployer or sorry, away buying these meme coins. But the prices have done like pretty have been doing pretty well so far, right? And I could say, for example, Pepe and Sol, and like so many others. Even for example, the DAI one has like the all-time high was actually after the launch, right? So like you can already see that there's a lot of people interested in these coins. They're driving a lot of attention. So I mean, yeah, I do think it's going to be a huge narrative at some point. Yeah.
Pedro, what you were saying before with the, I agree with all that. I 100% agree. That's why I'm here. I was like, hell yeah. Wait, can you guys hear me? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Sorry. Yeah, I 100% agree. And I just wanted to quickly touch base on that point you made before about the duplicates. And it ties in with what Johnny was saying as well. Knowing that you can make duplicates of that same ticker from different, contract address, different addresses, wallet addresses, makes me more intrigued and more excited about looking at Pulsex and Pulse and Hex, the meme RH memes, simply because, well, people can make duplicates on them. So I don't know. It makes me more intrigued on why they made meme versions of, of Hex and Pulse and Pulsex. It makes me more excited. But anyway, I just wanted to give that 2 cents there.
No, I totally agree, man. I totally agree. I think it's very intriguing, and I actually covered that in a video today a little bit. I mean, what is the purpose of those other coins if it's not to just try and keep somebody else from taking them first, which they can do anyway, right? They can create a zillion Pulsexes and Pulses and Hexes and so on. So there has to be another purpose, and I've been speculating all kinds of things. So take this for what it's worth. But I remember back in the day, there was an account that everybody swore was an RH alt account, and it's since disappeared. It's gone now. But back in the day, they were convinced, and it really began to kind of catch on and word spread. And so people were following this account, which was saying things that nobody could possibly know unless they were Richard himself or somebody right there in the inner circle, a close friend. And they were talking about these amazing predictions, saying that Pulse was going to go to like 350, and you're going to have Pulsechain go to something similar, like $3.25. You're going to have Hex do crazy numbers, $15, $20, $50, right? And this cycle, I thought, man, that's just so unbelievable. And yeah, anything can happen. It's crypto. It is possible, but that just seemed incredibly insane to me. And now that these are here, I'm like, oh my goodness, what if this is it? Like, what if they were referring to these? They knew Pump.tires was coming. They're on the inside. They knew they were going to go ahead and create Pulse Hex and Pulsechain, and they're going to send these tickers to 350, 325, and so on, right? I don't know, but that'd be very funny. And I think about that post Elon Musk made as well about how sometimes the funniest and the craziest thing is what happens. And that could be the case here. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the ultimate use is. But even from a marketing standpoint, so think about this: just to be able to go out there on X and people, are all talking about Pulsechain and just start tagging folks and just posting out there in general. Hey, ETH bros, Pulse is up to $1.50, right? And they don't necessarily know we're talking about the meme version of Pulse, but there you go. So it helps market the chain. So I see it as a benefit either way. I think it'll definitely tick off some core 4 maxis, but we'll see.
That is such a valid point. That's what I was feeling too, of the purpose of why Richard might want a meme Pulse and PLSX, so that he could just easily say, since these are low liquidity, low holder count too, if they're pumping super hard, then he can easily say PLSX on Pulsechain is doing crazy good and show a chart. And people from the outside of the chain will just assume that, like, that's the real thing. And I think it would be attractive for them to learn more about. It'd be intriguing, to say the least.
Yeah, it's a win-win situation if you think, right? Like not only because of the marketing strategy, right? Because you can communicate that, but I'm sure that if these coins start to pump, they will also drive at some point, right? They will drive the prices of the cores, right? They will help the prices of the cores. Welcome, Execute. Nice to have you here. So like in every sense, this new narrative it's going to be powerful, especially if we see memes pumping a lot in Ethereum, right? Why I personally think it will happen. So if that happens, then it's going to be so much easier for everyone to see, right? Because they see it's happening somewhere else, right? So they'll be like, why not here, right? And if they're thinking about which memes will pump the hardest, and then they will come to the conclusion at some point, right, that wait, these are like, there are some RH memes that I've heard of, and they investigate, and then they came to the conclusion that we all came, right? And that's gonna be extremely bullish, right? Because it has the RH brand, right? And that's something that it's unique to him. So yeah, I think that will be extremely powerful.
It definitely is powerful. That's what got me attracted to looking into these RH memes too. I'm like, wow, if they have the official name tag on it, verifiable by the address and from Pump.tires, then why aren't we talking about this? Why aren't we talking about this? Why aren't more people talking about this? Because hello, Richard Hart created 20 memes.
Exactly. I know, right? It seems so obvious. It's crazy. We just need to keep on spreading the good word. People don't know yet. I mean, the post that you linked to, Crypty, who is that from? Calibre FTW for the win. That's fantastic. Showing the launch order of all of these coins, starting with Pump, then going to Trump and the rest of these 20. That right there just shows you, right? Like this is directly linked to the founder. And people don't know that. People need to know that. They need to see the data and the facts behind it. And there's not only is there information out there like this, but there's a couple of other amazing individuals on this chat right now who have other little nuggets that it's not my position to share that also point directly to Richard. Things in Telegram groups and all of that back when Hex was originally established. And so all I can say is it's very, very bullish and very obvious.
Wow, that's exciting. The more I learn about this, the more intel unfolds. And if you guys know me, I love a good nugget of like learning what's really the agenda behind cryptos, and especially Pulsechain nuggets of wisdom and plans for pumping coins super hard on Pulsechain. So the more I'm learning about all these RH memes, it's coming together. It's looking like there's something bigger at play here.
Hey, Crypty, we got Execute and Torin. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hey guys, yeah, feel free to hop in.
What's up? Yeah, I got 2 points I want to say real quick, and one might be slightly unpopular, but I just personally, because the RH meme thing came out like kind of out of left field, and just the way I am, I don't want to say this way or that way, RH behind it or whatnot, but I have a bullish point, I think, is that like it doesn't even really matter. Like it's almost better. I think the research people has been really solid, and like to point out the fact that these memes are potent and important. So like I'm just one of those people that thinks that like we got so much more than RH. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm I wouldn't call myself a Hex OG, but I'm definitely pre Pulsechain, and I have no expectations of Richard personally. Like I know what he wants, or what I think I know he wants, and I have and I know this is the best chain out there personally. The way we're set up, the community we have, all the infrastructure, the validators, etc. Like, boom, we got it. So that being said, there's something definitely powerful about the quote unquote RH memes. And so that brings me to my second point. This is and then I'm just gonna step back. But I've been working on a site. It is sponsored by another project. I'm not going to bring it up since this is about RH memes. It's kind of obvious, but it's being built for the whole chain, for everybody on chain. You don't have to support that project, but it's a deck screener type project specifically for Pulsechain called bullscope.com. And the highlight of that is if you want to see all the pools and all the trades through a token, if you want to get a really good picture of how a token's connected to the rest of the ecosystem, which also helps you to understand whether it's a rug or the original, check out bullscope.com. And you guys have inspired me. I got to talk with the team and make sure it's cool. But right now, all the RH cores are listed, quote unquote listed, like a deck screener listing on bullscope.com. So they have the banner, they have the logo, they have the social links, etc. So I'm going to ask, make sure it's cool with the rest of the team, but I think I should go ahead and like just do that. It's been something on my radar for a few weeks, but I think it's like time to just list all the RH memes, and that would make it just even more safe for people to be able to find the right one.
Hey Torin, thank you for letting us know. The more community resources, the better. So thank you. And thanks for sharing your perspective. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I agree with Warren. Yeah, I like what he said, and I like what he said at the end as well about promoting the safety. Like if you got more data on all these coins on Pulsechain, more data the better. So I really appreciate that, and I like how he started off his sentence. He said, it doesn't really matter," and it got me thinking. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, it doesn't really matter if, in terms of Richard Hart, like. It got me thinking on this line. It doesn't really matter if Richard Hart were to pump them up himself, because I feel like these are so, they're just the tokenomics, like the features on the car, on the vehicle are
Yeah, they're
so
powerful. That's the thing, is that Pump.tires has already proven itself, and those are the original tokens. Like, so whether they're, I think we can go beyond. Like, yeah, I don't. It doesn't bother me when people say these are Richard Hart's memes. They are on so many levels. Like whether he launched them himself or whether he got somebody else to launch them for him or whatever. Like they've pretty much proven themselves at this point. Like there's some massively strong communities behind many of them. So we've definitely moved into that point, in my opinion, where they're safe tokens, and they are definitely going to be part of the driving narrative.
That's so true.
I totally agree. Yeah, great point, Torrin. Actually, I think we spent a great deal of time thus far on proving that RH is tied to this, but you're absolutely right. And I have the same thought process too. It doesn't matter. In fact, I actually appreciate the fact that RH isn't like the obvious founder. He came out and launched these himself and pushed the button, because we have a lot of people in Pulsechain that don't think for themselves. They have to have Daddy Richard come in and tell them what to think, what's good, what's not, what's bad. It's garbage. I actually really despise that perspective that some people hold, and I don't mean that in a super negative way. I love everybody on Pulsechain, but people are not thinking for themselves, and I think that Richard does not want it that way. I think he wants people that are intelligent, that are thinking, that are problem solving, that are reasoning for themselves and doing what they feel like is best, because it's what they're called to do. It's what they're seeing on their own with their own reasoning, their own intellect. And so it is a great thing, actually, that there is some distance between him and then he hasn't come out and made it clear. Maybe he never will. And if that's the case, fantastic, because we do need more independent thinkers in this chain. So anyway, I appreciate the comment and the thought, definitely.
Yeah, thank you. He's been saying that like on so many levels for so many years, and he had to do what he did for Hex, and he had to do what he did for Pulsechain, and it was all planned out. Like if you've been along for the ride, you know that like he was 100 steps ahead. He knew what was coming, and he told us this was going to be our chain, and it's not like he's backed off or stepped aside. Like I can't wait until he comes back and live streams and all that, but like yeah, it's our chain. We need to be mindful. Look at what we're dealing with. Check our contract addresses, check the URLs. Like there's scams everywhere, constant threats. So yeah, it's I don't like, I hate seeing posts where where it's like he wants people to fail. It's not that he wants people to fail. He wants everyone to win, but like he can't be there next to everybody's side to make sure that we don't like have a second of lapse judgment and not check a URL. It's just the nature of the game that it's tough, and we got to pay attention, and it's evolving. We had one token, and now we have what, 25, I guess.
Good points, gentlemen. Good points.
Yeah. Agreed. Well, friends, thank you so much. I've got to run. I'm so sorry, but Crypty, thanks for doing this. Thank you all for being here. Pedro, Frog Boy, execute to warn everybody. Thanks for your thoughts, and yeah, hope to do this again soon.
RH memes to Mars. You've been so wonderful. Thanks for joining our space. You had some really good thoughts, and I hope we do this again.
Thank you so much. All right, see you guys.
See ya. Hey, Crypty, I'd love to hear from Execute, because I just want to give a quick shout out to him again, because I jumped over and I was looking and trying to do all this research, like, hey, no one's talking about RH memes and Pump.tires and stuff. Well, you know, a generalization, like most of Pulsechain wasn't really talking about it, at least mainstream. And yeah, and then I see Execute, he's doing like spaces every day, and I jump on, I ask him questions, and he gave me like some pretty good insight. And yeah, anyway, I just wanted to give
Execute, we'd love to hear your story if you want to hop on and share.
I don't serve up as much Kool-Aid as most people, so I usually try to shoot straight to the point with people. The cool thing I like about the RH memes, I'm not really big on them. I'm more of a Pump.tires, like launching coins person. But I do like that he launched the platform. In my opinion, it is obviously Richard behind it, or some of the devs that work with Richard. But I also like the fact that he launched his own, and he gave a wide assortment of memes to pick from, so it's pretty cool. And yeah, they're all pretty good memes. I like my favorite two are the Trump and the Pepe meme.
Oh, cool.
Just because, in my opinion, like when some of the maxis come into spaces, they ask like which one's the best, and I always just say you got to look at mindshare, and the mindshare of this cycle is Trump and Pepe.
Right.
Those are the two things that everybody talks about, and usually on every chain, like if somebody spins up a new chain tomorrow, the first ticker everybody's going to be trying to full send is probably a Pepe, right? Because Pepe is the easiest thing to meme. There's so many funny like Pepe videos and pictures and just memes in general. So Pepe is obviously the one of one meme to always full port into that everybody does, and having like a safe and reliable Pepe to full port into on Pulsechain now is it's good that he did it, because the last Pepe it didn't do so well because of the extraction event on all the P copies and everything. So it's good that he finally put his name behind one of them. And we have the burnt liquidity, so now it's just PvP who wants to actually own the token versus who wants to sell the token. And that's how it should be, right? You shouldn't have pools that there's all these unknown unknowns with exchanges having X amount of the liquidity locked up. You don't know if they're going to come over and just dump on your head. I like to look at order books. So on this copy, or on this Pepe that he made, I can look at the order book and see that there's this many holders and there's this many people that bought. There's this many snipers. We know who owns what, and you can kind of place your bids accordingly. All the P copies and the other stuff, it's very hard to predict who's who and where the funds are, and are the wallets dormant, and those guys came in and withdrew quite a bit of from the first couple weeks of the Pepe copy being over here. So this is like the one of one that people can go PvP on and try to get the mind share. And I think it's up to Richard to do that job too. Like when you type in Pepe to deck screener, I always say it's market share plus mind share. And so I type in Pepe. The first one is ETH, obviously. Second one is Solana, and then the third one is base. And we're in fourth right now. We were in third, but yeah, it slipped under the market cap, so we're starting to lose mindshare on Pepe. And it works the same way with Trump. Trump is the other ticker everybody's always searching. So if we're in second place right now, so we just flipped the BNB one for Trump. Obviously, Solana has the official Trump. So I look at it like a marketing play for RH. If Donald Trump, the United States president, goes to Deck Screener or any type of crypto platform, types in his name, if the Trump on Pulsechain ever flips to number one, God willing, obviously, because that's 1.7 billion. market cap, and we're at 1.2, which is I'd say a little undervalued. Yeah, if it ever gets up there, that's Trump's eyes on your chain. And same with Pepe. If people type in Pepe and they see Pulsechain Pepe's on top and it flipped the one on ETH and all these other chains, they're going to be like, what the hell is that? What's that chain, and why is that one doing better than all the rest of them? And it's just free marketing. I mean, it's obviously going to cost us and him some capital to push in there, but it is marketing at the end of the day. I guess it would work the same thing with all the other tickers because they're all copy tickers. So yeah, those are my two favorite out of the bunch, just because this whole cycle is just Trump and Pepe.
You brought up so many good points. Pulsechain needs these memes because people are going to search Pepe, they're going to search Doge, they're going to search Trump, and we want the Pulsechain memes to show up first. So, man, that was such an awesome point. And thanks for sharing that you love Trump and Pepe. I love those as well. Trump, I think, was the first one that I got just because, I'm like, wow, awesome. Trump meme, yeah. Even when I wasn't into memes, I love Trump, so I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna buy the Trump meme because I support him and see what happens. And I think a lot of people feel that way too. If everyone's not totally a memeologist, a meme investor, people still buy what they kind of lean towards, I think. So that's a very good one. Very good share.
Crypty, what Execute was saying, like, how the hell are we ranking so high? Like, what the hell? What does it take to rank high? Because that's impressive. Again, yeah, plays into the marketing. I think that's really good for Pulsechain and attracting new people and fresh wealth and more excitement and fun and celebrations on the chain. So that's a really good point Execute brought up. And I also want to say that I think that the more of mainstream Pulsechain gets familiar with these memes and Pump.tires and RH memes, I think the more of the actual tokens that are being made every day that Execute talks about. Like, he's doing spaces every day, and he's like, he's giving like a platform and a ramp, and he's bringing awareness to the other tickers, to the other tokens, to the other communities, that the infrastructure, that the tech has allowed and facilitated. So now this year, Pulsechain has Pump.tires, and we've got these, we've got RH memes. They're cool. Could they be considered as blue chips later on down the track? Who knows, right? But then you've also got all the other fresh new tokens and the tech behind that. What Pedro was saying about the bonding curve tech is so valuable for the whole chain. And I just want to actually, what Execute is doing, you should probably follow him. Everyone should probably follow him because he's doing spaces every day, and I think that's the hard work. That's like, he's doing the nitty gritty work for the chain. That's my 2 cents there.
We've had like, I would say the past month, we've had a lot of good runners on Pump.tires, and a lot of people made a lot of good money. And lately it's been dead again, and the maxis slowly like come back in and kind of listen. I've been paying attention, and a lot of the guys that made money in the Pump.tires recently, I noticed the 3 guys that I follow, and I talked to 2 of them. They took most of the gains while they were making money on Pump.tires, and they brought it back to Hex. And I asked them yesterday. I actually sent him a message. I'm like, bro, like, I noticed like you're not on tires anymore. Like, what's going on? And he's like, oh yeah, like I full ported back into Hex because it was crashing, and like it just kept going down. And now they're actually at a huge loss. So the gains that they made from the last month, they're technically like 10% underwater. And I was like, you can't. The cool thing about like the way this thing works, you can like quantify your capital rather than like just invest into something and then like watch it slowly go up over whatever amount of time that you're staking and doing all these things for. And a lot of the maxis, like, they're too scared to dabble in Pump.tires and all the meme coins and stuff just because they don't understand it, and I get that. But it's if Richard comes back and he does the perfect example is when he launched all these meme coins, a ton of the liquidity left the core coins and went into the Pump.tire memes that he launched, and only he launched, right? And a lot of those guys made money too, but I think a lot of them also lost money. So they're trying to like bring it back, or I don't know what they're doing at the end of the day. There's a couple of those hex stakers that really got crushed, but you can't do anything like you can on Pump.tires on this chain. Like the entire chain right now, in my opinion, is Pump.tires and the tax token ecosystems, which I also don't like to play in. But it's I don't know, if Richard comes back and he starts to send the meme tokens over the core tokens with any type of liquidity that he brings back to the chain. If he does do that, it's gonna be it's gonna be bad for either way. He's gonna have to just slowly put it back into Pulse, I think, and watch like just Pulse do its own thing. Because if he full ports any position into Hex or Pulsex, then he might get some biased and a lot of haters from the ecosystem. And I kind of predicted that a while ago, that I think he's gonna do the dog wags the tail trick, where he's gonna like jump into one position and watch everybody chased into that position, and then jump to the next one and to the next one and to the next one. But the cool point about like the Pump.tire memes, I would say it's a lot easier to play that game because it's all based in Pulse. You know what I mean? So as soon as he buys Pulse with whatever, it's lifting. I hate to say this word, Jesus, the Hart's Law effect, which I also don't believe in. I think you need capital to come in and to be injected into one thing, but it might actually affect with the meme coins, just because it's only affecting the WPLS pairs. But the Hex and the Pulsex pairs, those are all based on liquidity pools and everything else. But I'm wondering, like, what he actually pushes into with the capital. Does he just push it into WPLS and then sit there? Or does he just inject ETH and then just sit there? Or like, what's going to happen with that? I'm kind of curious. I think I was watching Frog Boy's video that he sent me. He was saying that RH Max thinks that he's just going to like full port it into Hex over and over again and just keep building that up, which like I'm fine with him doing that too. But I think he's just going to keep getting dumped on, and he technically doesn't even need to full port any money into the memes. He just has to take the Pulse that he already has and slowly like buy up the liquidity pools with the Pulse that he already owns. So it doesn't really cost him anything to do that. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it comes down to like what he wants to do at the end of the day, right? Does he want to just keep getting dumped on by the OG Hexkins, or I mean, I don't know. The liquidity's already getting pretty thin. I think it's due or time sooner or later for this chain. What do you think about that, Frog Boy?
Actually, that was a very good point you mentioned. Sorry for interrupting that. Like, who would you rather be dumped, on by, right? And if you actually think about it, I think that's exactly the point, right? Which is, these coins are newer, so it's much easier for people, to fall in love, right? To have that initial passion with these coins and to hold longer. So I think you would see less sell pressure in one way because of that, and in another way, it's just because there's much less bag holders, right? So people would still need to buy them, right? So I think, like, if you think about it, it would make more sense to buy these coins. But like, will he do it? I'm not sure, right? Maybe most, or Pump or something like that, like he has done in the past, right? But like you made so many good points. I'm not sure if he's gonna keep buying like the cores, except for Pulse, obviously, because he tried twice, right? He literally tried twice, and everybody dumped on him. So what's the point, right? At least for now, right? While people are still interested in selling, right? Because that sentiment can shift quickly too, right? If the prices start to move a lot, then people, will be a little bit more reluctant to sell, right? So yeah, like I don't like my conclusion is no conclusion, I guess, but I think probably the safest move and the weirdest and the one that I hope it happens, which is just porting ETH into Pulsechain, right? And that's it, just sitting on
Yeah.
ETH, because look, man, it's for the marketing, effect is much better, at least for in my opinion, right? If we can pump the chain without using the sacrifice funds, just because like people will be looking into those treasuries, right? So that's just free marketing for Pulsechain, like forever, right? So I do like that. I do like that a lot. So
The
I'm
memes can also be used to do the wag, the dog wagging the tail. He could start to publicly pump some of the memes with like public wallets, and then you'll see the same thing that happened before, where a bunch of hexagons do EESs. A lot of people remove PLS farms, dump all the ink, and start to full port into the memes again, and then causing the pump and dump, which meme coins do. And also a cool thing for him is he has the wallets that have, let's say he has 200-300 wallets that he self-injected on the side of most Trump and Pepe and whatever. So he has the wallets that he owns. He can like look at them and be like, all right, I have 1,000 wallets. There's 1,000 wallets that still owned all these. And if you look at the memes today, it looks like a lot of them haven't been shaken out. So he can just wait for, let's say, 800 wallets to sell, and there's 200 actual holders or new buyers, let's say. Then he's like, okay, like it's primed to pump again, and then it's going to cost him way less money to pump any of the meme coins. When it comes to meme coins, the cool thing about it that nobody likes to like learn, I think even Arch himself, like the whole DeFi process with Hex, it's such a nobody wants to sit down and like learn that ecosystem. It's a headache, and it's just not. I mean, in my opinion, obviously, it's not worthwhile. Like meme coins are, it is the quote unquote innovation tech. It's everybody wants to know there's a cap supply. Everybody wants to know it's immutable, and nobody can mint new tokens. That's the most that's the feature, and you know that's kind of like the cool thing about it. We know nobody's coming to like infinitely dump on our heads. We could see the order book, and at the end of the day, if you like something and you know you can buy up 99% of the supply over and over again, and nobody's at the end like minting it on your head and dumping it, that is like the whole objective, because you can send the chart to whatever ungodly number you want with a small amount of capital. As long as you own 99% of the coins you're never going to sell, as soon as you shake out those weak hands, it's up only after that. You just got to keep shaking out the weak hands.
Yeah, that's how I've looked at it all along. That it was like a double fold factor, like to bring in attention, Pump.tires, but also like to give him a sideline, like to be able to make moves without the chain, or without most people like seeing what he's doing. I personally believe that like this whole plan, albeit it's probably shifted, and constantly shifting. RH says, update your worldview, all the time. So, but I think that this has been a plan for a long time, like a multi-token plan. Start with one, create my own freedom chain, make the most insane liquidity play that anyone's ever seen, and do it in a way that I can like stay behind the scenes and become even more and more Satoshi. And so yeah, I definitely like he's. I don't think he's going to touch the SAC funds personally. It's a beautiful billboard, and if he can, or when the chain pumps and those funds have never been touched, it's like even stronger and stronger. So I think he's definitely using Pump.tires in whatever form or fashion, he's going to win on that. I mean, the more money you have, the easier it is to be slow and calculated. And you know, yeah, of course, if he's owning that supply, then and he obviously he's not worried about money, then he can shake out the weak hands. I mean, one thing's never changed. You know, money moves from paper hands to diamond hands. The more you have, the easier it is for that to happen. So the thing that I've like always known since before Pulsechain launched is that what's in Pulsechain's best interest is in Richard's best interest, and he's going to use everything at his disposal for his interest and Pulsechain's interest, which is not everybody's interest on Pulsechain, because people are their own worst enemy and they, you know, screw themselves. But overall, we're in an amazing position, and he's definitely gonna work those memes, and it's incredible. You know, it's just, I'm just mind blown even thinking about it. So
You guys are you're bringing up so many really good thoughts, and it's making me really grateful that I've invested in some of the RH memes. Yeah, it's certainly possible that Richard's best interest is to put capital into the RH memes instead of the cores, and that's a narrative I'm totally open to exploring too. Because if it's in the best interest of the chain, not necessarily like a small group of investors, but if it's for the chain to bring in people from other chains into Pulsechain, that's certainly valid. That's certainly worth looking at. And
yeah, you sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but before I blew my my own mind, that's kind of where I was going, was that I think that's how he's going to be able to do it. It's a governor and a turbo at the same time, and it takes highlight off of him in some way, but that's what I meant by him taking advantage. But by taking advantage, I mean like pumping the memes, pumping like people's bags that have, you know, stayed. I hate to say stayed true. It sounds stupid, but by pumping the bags of the people that saw the plan, and then rotating. Like, I have no doubt that the cores are gonna pump, but I think he's definitely like Execute was saying, it's not gonna be, in my opinion, what we expect. I don't see full porting and just dumping money into the cores,
right.
you know, for the people that are waiting there to extract on them.
Totally. Yeah. I'm feeling that way too, because he referred to the community as sell pressure in his last video. So is it deserving? Is it worth it for him? And personally, I'm a believer in meritocracy. Like, you put in the work and you get rewarded, and you get what you're deserving of because you're the one doing it. And right now, sad to say, Pulsechain, a lot of the big holders, I wouldn't say they're deserving of a pump. Like the really big ones that dump all the time. So if I were to put myself in Richard's shoes, that sucks. It to put it frankly. It's I wouldn't want to put any more of my own money into trying to pump what people are gonna dump. Then they don't deserve that pump, basically. So I'd shift my focus and my efforts elsewhere into something new, where it can be rewarding to good people who see it, and to those that deserve it, that get it. And when I'm thinking in that lens, that frame, looking at the RH memes, there's not a lot of sellers. When I look at the charts, I've been studying it for like a month each week. There's more buyers usually than sellers, and people don't really dump hard the RH memes. There's actually really strong buying support for them. So I can see already
Well,
that that's something worth
the thing
promoting, supporting.
to understand, I'm sorry to I had to get in and say this before somebody else jumped in, but like the thing to understand is like Richard sees the whole game. Like when people
Yeah.
are already expecting a certain outcome, like we're all deserving like to to do well, and it's a
Right. Yeah.
PvP struggle, so it has to be a shake and bake game, it just has to be like, and that's unfortunately because there's so many people that are here, and how's it supposed to go down? You know what I mean? Like, you got friends selling on friends, like because some other dude might sell on you first. So like I totally appreciate the game of trying to like figure out how to make it like even more sustainable, long lasting, like calming people down without making it like Execute said so insane that like nobody wants to learn the tech. Like, how do you do that with memes? Oh, maybe launch 20 of them. Like, maybe not pump the cores first. Maybe, like it's it's a wild like west. We're so early and it's so hard. Like we definitely need to have some things that sustain, but like at this point, like everyone's freaked. You know what I mean? Like nobody knows what's gonna hold out. And you're right, though. That's what's been blowing my mind about the RH memes is they're actually holding up very well. Like the more that I've been watching them, the more and more interested I get in them.
Pedro, hey guys. Oh, Pedro. Yeah, you go, Pedro. You go, Pedro.
No. Please go first, front boy. Please, sir.
Okay. Man, there's been so many awesome. I'm loving this talk, by the way, guys. Thank you so much for even jumping on. And Crypty for like hosting it out of freaking nowhere. Thank you. Execute was saying like buy versus sell pressure. I'm making notes here. This is how fun this is. Buy versus sell pressure and like the sack daddy mentality. And yeah, I'll tell you what, guys, when I was over Ethereum and looking over here and people with this sack daddy mentality, just like, oh my gosh, come on, guys. And then I see the narrative and it's like, hey, cool, we don't need a sack daddy here. We don't even need any of that thinking or wavelengths and ideas. It's like, hey, these are primes to, to do whatever they want. And even if like, and also like the tech, the Pump.tires tech, right? Do like it's really valuable tech in my opinion. But yeah, sack daddy stuff. Execute is free flowing. He's detached from sack daddiness. Yeah,
Bro,
I wrote
when
that
this
down.
chain went live, I was doing like the Pulsechain support, and everybody that was coming into the space, all the KOLs were saying like 10,000x in 3 days, all this bull crap, and I was like, this chain's cooked. And I funded it so hard forever, and then as soon as like Pump.tires came back, I'm like, all right, I'm coming back, and I started slowly buying on the Ethereum side, and I've been slowly trickling back in, just because if if they figure out the playbook, it's gonna be a good ecosystem. It's just nobody knows the playbook over here, which, to anybody that knows the playbook, you have first mover advantage coming over here because it's very easy to run it over here. Like, not a lot of people understand order books. Not a lot of people understand owning supplies, and never selling can really send the chart high with small amounts of money. And yeah, I think RH is also like kind of, I mean, not, I don't want to speak for the man, but from what I've seen on chain between the KOLs, I think he's, to the KOLs he is talking to, I think he's slowly telling them to also build up their own meme coin or celebrity coin, whatever you want to call it, on Pump.tires, and just push users towards like creating your own KOL coin or whatever you want to call it, like a meme coin of just your own thing, and teaching them. I don't know if he's teaching them, but yeah, just telling them to like get over there and make your own thing, make a community, because that's like every chain needs community, and you need people on chain to do the things and move things around. Pump Fun, I put it out the other day, like pushing, like a lot of the things I complain about on the timeline, I'll complain about, and I usually at Richard, even though like the majority of the Hexkins and Richard himself, they always block everybody that speaks out. But everybody on the chain should be doing, like, not complaining, but like adding at Richard and some of the devs to like push things forward as soon as possible, because like we're already at 1100 days into this bull. I know a lot of the Hexkins say we're still in the bear for some reason, but only they are, because the rest of the market is way ahead of them. And pushing out as much code as you can to get this ball rolling is, I think it's important right now. We've already had 3 updates on Pump.tires. It looks like it's on V3 right now. But streamer revenue, even dev revenue on Pump.tires would be really nice. So having the V2 or V3 pool, upgrading those from allowing the developer to pick a pool would be cool. And like I said, allowing that claim feature, where even if the dev doesn't like buy up some of the supply just to earn revenue, it's that's what Pump Fun's doing. They're also doing the pump airdrop, which, like, if you go over on Pump Fun and look at what's happening, they've like 10x'd the streamers over there, and they're pulling streamers from Twitch, Kick, and all the major streaming platforms, and it's like almost overnight people are full porting into what Solana and Pump Fun is without even owning like any Solana, right? They'll buy $5 just to create their new quote unquote Twitch channel on Pump Fun, and then they dual stream over there, earn money just from streaming over there. They might not even buy the coin. Maybe they do buy the coin and they run a playbook. But it's kicking this thing and getting it moving is it's almost do or die, I'd say. And yeah, that's how you get new users on chain.
Yeah, that's so true, man. That's so true. I think what they're doing right now over there on Solana with the latest update and people flocking in, honestly, it's amazing, and we've got to respect that pump. We've got to respect the pamp, and I feel like the Rich Hart team who behind Pump.tires, from just what you were saying, honestly, I have a feeling that they're going to recognize the success of that. And oh, look, Liberty Swap is in. Let's shout out to Liberty Swap, because I was just about to talk about them, and whether or not they like it or not, or appreciate it or not. But anyway, but yeah, I have a sneaky, great, good feeling that the people behind Pump.tires are going to recognize that they're winning over there or over on Solana. And that's what they've been doing. I mean, why did we create Pump.tires in the first place? From my opinion, it's to help make Pulsechain like fun, and it's like a free speech platform in a way. And that's partly I look to Liberty Swap's logo and the whole branding and everything, right? Liberty Swap, like truth, free speech, and I feel like that ties in with what Richard Hart was, I don't know, advocating and all that jazz. And Pump.tires is a manifestation of that idea of free speech. So people can come here and they can create these amazing, like, tokenomics wise, these are really good. Like Pedro keeps on saying, like, hey, you can't inflate these things, a billion supply. Like, these are awesome. They're great products. They're great vehicles for you to put an idea or meme into, right? like memes, ideas, wavelengths, cults, communities, clubs, religions, protests, jokes. Like it's so deep. It's so deep, and I feel like because it's just awesome, and I feel like the streaming capability that they have over on Pump.fun on Solana, I think that's an inevitability over here on Pump.tires because it's just so powerful. And I feel like it would be even more awesome if we could stream not just new tokens, like let's just say Pump.tires has that new tech on the platform where you can stream. It would be awesome if we could stream with the existing coins and tokens and communities, and not just new ones, right? Because I would stream.
Yeah,
I would stream
that's
that.
how it's like on Pump Fun right now too. If you would
Yeah.
fully integrate Pump.tires into Pulsechain, that'd be like the bee's knees, where you're just launching everything right from Pulsechain. Pump.tires is cool too, but it's kind of it gives you that old school vibe of, you know, kind of, I don't know, gives me the old vibes. But yeah, the streaming is, it might be too much work to set up the servers and everything, but at least getting the dev wallets paid and created revenue would be pretty cool. And then somebody built a streaming platform for it all already. I don't want to say what it is because it's probably a rug. I don't know why they have a wallet connect on it and everything there, but I'm scared to even go to the website on my basic browser. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend going to it. It's not worth it. But him kicking that up a notch would be pretty cool. And that's how they're gonna get their users, because nobody cares about APY right now. Nobody cares about DeFi. They only care about number go up as fast as possible, and then the next day if it crashes, they just take the L.
That's it, man. That's it. I 100% agree, and I feel like mainstream Pulsechain is slowly moving the bell curve. Like the bell curve is shifting, and the ideas of accepting the idea of memes is getting more and more normal. Like, oh yeah, memes, cool, cool, cool. Whereas like ask us a year ago or 2 years ago, and you know, if we were to say memes, they'd be like, gross, like get that shit out of here. But now, you know, it's a lot more normal. I think it's a lot more accepted. And I feel like that's
It's
just
the
really
bonding
cool.
curve and the way it's locked forever, right? Like you're technically not losing your coins. Back in the day, you would launch a meme coin, and you just provide liquidity, wait for people to ape in, and then you'd remove the liquidity and be like, "Well, have a good day." And that'd be that. But now with this type of platform, and there's a bonding curve, and there's all these things where it kind of builds the community around it. Even when I run my spaces and guys come in and they're trying to make their own thing, the first thing I tell them, like, listen, like this will launch eventually. You just gotta stick around. And some people make it, some people don't, and they just rug. And you know, that's just how it is. But even when they rug, you technically don't lose all your money, right? You're only losing like a percent base because there's always something there to sell into, which is the beautiful thing. It's not just, hey, you lost all your money, or you get to go sell into some other illiquid meme coin token that's attached to nothing. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's great tech. It's great tech. Yeah.
Frog Boy, I'd love to hear what your favorite RH memes are and why.
Well, honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is like any of them. Like if I were to put, like I came over from ETH and I saw them, like, man, I want to get as many as I want as I can, cheapest ones, expensive ones, because I believe in the narrative. The narrative is the most attractive thing, and these 20 sub niche, sub communities, sub wavelengths, sub ideas. I mean, any of them, I reckon they're all going to win. Having said that, I do love BitcoinHex. For some reason, something just calls out to me, and I like the story about that and how the community has essentially like connected the original Hex thinkings of Richard Hart. He was going to call Hex BitcoinHex, and he even did a presentation out there, and he has a slideshow in the back. He's talking for 10 minutes, and he's talking about BitcoinHex. And so yeah, I think that's pretty fun, and I honestly look out for the communities. Like the Solana community is pretty active and vocal, and so honestly, and also the Pepe one. But for me, the ones that I enjoy the most are the ones with the communities behind them, like right now, that are rating the comments and spreading the culture. Because me being over from Ethereum, I've, like, especially in the past 2 years of being in the Apu cult and being surrounded by Aeons and Gigas and Sprotos and all these other meme communities and cults, it's essentially PvE now over there, which is cooperative instead of versing each other. And it's been a really fun like 2 years with them so far, being in that cult and community. And I get to witness some of the mechanics and tactics and actions that communities can do and how they grow most effectively, etc., etc. And I see that coming over here with the Pump.tires communities and tokens and RH memes. We might have to go through a fat wave of PvP, just like Solana. Like, if you look to the Solana chart, you'll see a big wave of action, engagement, and price action and all that jazz. And I feel like that was like the PvP wave, right? And now after a lot of them get rugged and all that jazz, the gems appear. The gems appear. The gems are the ones that have been rugged and survived, rugged and survived, rugged and survived, and they're thriving. And they evolve into this PvE community kind of thing, and they're having fun with other neighboring communities. Like, and I see that coming over here to Pulsechain. Why? It's because we have the tech, and the tech is now, it's actually pretty good. So I see, this is what I'm anticipating. I'm anticipating the same things that have happened on other chains to come over here. And what happened with the other chains when they introduced all this, free speech tech and meme infrastructure and all that jazz? Lots of attention, lots of money, lots of excitement, lots of culture, and now it's here. And mainstream Pulse chain, thankfully, I don't really know about it because it gives us a really awesome opportunity. But that's changing now. A lot of them are waking up to memes and what they are and how deep they are compared to just a utility token. For me, a utility token is very shallow, whereas a meme token can be mega deep compared to a utility token in terms of what it can do for you, the value it can bring, in many different aspects. Value in many different aspects, not just financially, but many other things. So honestly, the ones with the communities, yeah, they're my favorite at the moment. But I'm excited. Like, I'm excited to see Tron get a community. Like, there's a RH meme Tron, and it's like the cheapest one. And I bought a bag. Is there a community there? Not yet, but like, it's funny, it's fun. Throw in a few shekels and a few, a little bag, and it's fun, right? I'm having fun over here. I didn't like Pulsechain. I didn't like it because it was all utility only, right? Oh my gosh, kill me! Like, don't kill me, but like, it was that bad. But now they've made it easy for me to have fun and bridge over and yeah. So yeah, there you go.
Community coins. Hey, thanks for sharing. That's interesting, your perspective from Ethereum. And Pedro, I'm going to ask you next. Which RH memes are most special to you and why?
That's a good question. Probably, look, I'm gonna pick Dai. I'm gonna pick Dai as my number one. I'm in between Dai and in between Dai and Hex for one reason, because Dai is so hated, right? It's so fucking hated. As the RH meme, right? If you go to the X screener, it has the most red flags, and it's literally just the same as all the others, but it has a bunch of red flags and poops because the pDai guys were like upset, right? So I do think that's super powerful, and I think it can thrive because it's a meme stablecoin season, at least in Pulsechain, right? So I think that if we can get using Execute's world, right, if we can get some of the pDai mindshare, right, into the RH meme DAI, just because it's the exact same ticker, right? So I think that would be pretty interesting, right? And I know that it got a lot of attention, right, because of the the fact that it got a lot of hate, right? You can see that on the screen, as I said, and I think it was the only one that actually had the top not at the lunch, right? The top was after lunch, right? So that's quite interesting, right? Um, so yeah, I think I'm going to pick that one as my favorite, the DAI one, and then it's definitely BitcoinHex because it's just I'm a hex lover, right? I like hex, the branding, and don't get me wrong, I like the branding of hex, right? Like the DeFi product, sure, it's cool. Um, like it had like one bull run, right? So we need to prove that it can go beyond its previous all-time high. So it's still it's still unproven in that sense, right? It's immutable, all those features, etc. But I'm talking about the price, which is what matters at the end to onboard new people, right? Because that's what people care about. So in that regard, it's actually unproven, right? So and the Bitcoin hex is actually so uh, like the hexagons go crazy with that one, especially if it pumps hard, right? They will go insane because it has the history, right? Regarding Bitcoin hex, like the original Bitcoin hex before the Richard dropped the Bitcoin, right? And I think it has all the memeability, right? And the original memes and from Richard Hart and tweets, etc. So it's very relatable, right, to the OG hex community. So if I do think that if they see the Bitcoin hex pumping like I don't know 5x, 10x, like it happened with pDai, right? That everybody onboarded after the first 100x, right? It's gonna happen something similar, right, to Bitcoin hex. So I think I would pick those two, right? Like I like all of these. I own literally all of these coins, right? I own all of them because I don't want to be left behind if I missed the boat because I couldn't foresee that the second XRP that appeared is actually the one that's going to do the most taxes, right? I would kill myself, right? If I missed the fucking boat because I was like, no, that's impossible, right? So I would hate that. So I have a bag of like each and every single one of them. But yeah, those are my two preferences. What about you, Execute? What's your? You said it. I think it's Pepe, right? And Trump, Pepe and Trump, exactly. So
Yeah, and the bad thing is I barely own any of them. Like
that's a good thing.
I'm
Wait, that's a
slowly
good thing.
trickling
Oh
back into the
no.
chain,
It's a good thing.
and
It's a good thing.
yeah, I think I own like $50 of each, give or take, and that's about it. But yeah,
I think
No, honestly,
you
that's
can go crazy and like own like $100. Like I know that's insane. That's crazy numbers, but I think you can do it. At some point, you'll own at least $100 of each.
yeah, yeah. I played the game when it first came out, and I just wasn't early enough to actually snipe any of the crazy amounts of the supply. I definitely see a divide between the hexes though, so that could be a play, and it's a meme in itself, right? Like you could, if it pumps, does whatever, you can kind of meme it on the timeline, like, hey, my hex just pumped, 30,000%. Did yours or something? And some of the Solana, I think the funniest meme out of all of them is the Solana one. I see the guy down there, Pulse Sexy Tard or whatever, and Tarded.
Amazing memes, bro.
Bro,
Like the
the
best, the best.
Solana, those guys come in hard with some of those memes, and they like just that face suits the Solana crowd so well. So they have the funniest one out of all, and yeah, all of them are pretty good. I don't like the die one, just because I'm running a space right now as we speak, and I left that space because they're talking about pDai again, and I'm like, I am totally over this talk. It's
Oh no.
disgusting. And I think RH is too. That's why I think he pushed the Pump.tires out, because he's tired of his own ecosystem just getting rinsed by this infinite mint bug that is currently on chain. I've been pushing the meme that we should fork like maker contract and all the pDai out of the ecosystem, just so they can't keep doing the reload. And yeah, a lot of people don't really like that theory, but I think pushing it forward would be healthier to cut the cancer off now than later, because if they try to run that playbook or call those functions again and reload, I think it'd be pretty bad for the ecosystem.
That's a good perspective. That's a good idea.
Yep.
I like that idea. Hey, Crypty, sorry.
Another good way you can meme the BitcoinHex is you can put it on the timeline that this one has no inflation bug.
100%. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a new speaker here, Dr. Waza Slime. Hey, welcome to the space. Do you have anything you want to share off the bat?
Yo, what's up? I'm just trying to cook a pork chop at the moment with a fucking air fryer, and life is good. I'm just listening to y'all.
Bro,
Oh,
if you're
yeah.
cooking a pork chop, life is good indeed. Nice.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Torin, do you have any favorites or RH memes that you valued the most over others? No pun intended, most. Oh my gosh.
It's hard to say. I got communities on many of them, and some of them are like entirely opposed to each other. So I kind of laugh at it. Like, I love it. So I tend to go from top down. Pump, like, just seems pump and most. But yeah, I like the soul memes. Like, those guys are killing it. Say what you will. Even the Pepe guys, like, energy attracts people. Attention, you know how it is. Like, you don't have to agree. Like, you can put something out and think, oh, I'm gonna wreck this guy, and then, like, one guy gives you a like and 10 guys go the other way. So yeah, I don't have any absolute favorites per se, but I know that Pump.tires is doing a lot for the chain, especially in terms of the burning, getting these kinds of things going. So yeah, I'm kind of just spread out, not across all 20 though.
Thanks for sharing. I'm gonna bring up another speaker up here. He's connecting. Hey, Cellulose. Hey, do you have anything you want to share?
What's up, guys? Just listening, working right now. Just wanted to jump in and say hi. I might be confused, but what is the actual difference between any of the memes? I mean, from the outside looking in, it just looks like they're all the same. They're all launched from Pump.tires. The tokenomics are the same. It's really just the PFP that makes the difference, which might make the community, behind it. But ultimately, like, I don't really understand what the difference between any of them is. Maybe like
Well,
the existing liquidity,
that's
besides that, I'm just going off of how the chart looks.
right. That's kind of the beauty that I love about Pump.tires is they come from the same factory, the same deployer. Like, we know they're safe. The market caps, unless, like, some of these guys have burned massive amounts of their supply, so then it skews the market cap. But it's kind of like right, exactly. So that it's just a little bit different story, and you're right. It boils down to mind share. I think, like, Execute and some other people were saying frog. So it's but it's still early. Like, we don't really know which PFP, like you say, is gonna rise above the rest. But the overall value is, added to the chain is pretty strong in my mind. Like, yeah, it gives us something to watch for. It almost like the NFL or the whatever NBA of Pulsechain, and they all kind of started on a level playing field, and a lot of the same. It's almost like you take half of one NFL team and put them, half of them or a quarter of them on another team, and then like they switch teams like every week, and you see who's gonna come out. We're all kind of on the same team, and it kind of washes back and forth, but it's definitely like preseason, so put a little bit here and a little bit there, and
Yeah, owning a bag of everything, I think, is the way to go, really, as far as that spread.
Yeah,
yeah.
As
sell your
far
stuff.
as all of that being said, like I think the ones I'm looking for have like at least 13x back to all-time high, whereas like some like most might be the most popular. That's looking at like a 2 to 3x to all-time high. Of course, I think all of them are going to go way past all-time high, but you're looking at like Best, looking at Ada, looking at Mars. Those guys got 13x to all-time high, and I'm pretty confident. He knows at least. You just look at the chart.
Yeah, what you asked before, that was a really good question. Like, what's the difference? They're just, they're all got the same tokenomics, but the PFP is different and all that. I think that's a really good point, and I feel like a lot of the value in terms of my lens and perspective, a lot of the value comes from the stories that the community attaches to them and creates, and then also the community itself, how active they are. Are they working for their bags? Are they working to create the culture? Are they rating the comments? Are they creating websites? Are they creating the culture? And I feel like they're all going to win, really. And I like your point of the 13x and the all-time highs and comparing them. But yeah, I see if one of them wins, my personal gut feeling is that they all win. And then also on top of that, the Pump.tire tokens that execute pretty much like streams every day, they win as well later on. And the ones that have survived drugs and have bonded and this and that, like those ideas grow. Ideas being memes, right? So yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I kind of see them like Garbage Pail Kids. If you guys ever remember, if you're as old as me, like I was little. I'm not super old. I'm not a boomer, but it's kind of like if the whole ego gets popular, they're all gonna do better, and like we kind of just trade them back and forth. Like it definitely created the fun. It created the environment to bring on the other chains. It's safe. It is hugely beneficial to Pulse and Pulsex and the whole chain. So yeah, favorites. It changes for me week to week, and but this whole space has definitely reinvigorated me personally too. I wasn't definitely not bearish on them, but I'm like I said, I'm involved in a bunch of communities. I have some really close friends that are highly committed, doing some amazing things, like you said, building websites, building content, constantly out there, constantly talking, and it's kind of what we needed. I mean, I'm a dev. I don't like promote that. I'm not super high level. But I also criticize dev work all the time for being like too outside of the box, like too hard for people to get with and understand, even if it's amazing. So yeah, I got into this for freedom and the to not be debanked all of those tech aspects. I really did, but like I said before, you got to roll with times, update your worldview, and markets are markets. You know, it's what the people choose to put value behind, and so yeah, I'm loving my Garbage Pail Kids at this point.
Pedro, what would you say the difference is between the RH memes?
I actually think about that a lot. You know, why 20 meme coins? Why, so many? And I think that there's like a message behind that, right? Because you're forced to kind of choose, right? Unless you're crazy, or you waited until the best time and you could afford them all, a pretty juicy bag. But pretty much everybody kind of chooses their favorites, right? And I think that's kind of like an underlying message, right? So that you're forced to choose, right? Because we're in the chain where you could only buy 4 coins, etc., right? And everything else sucked, blah blah blah. So now we were kind of forced to do the opposite, right? So I think that is the purpose of having so many. The difference is only the communities, right? It's the price charts, obviously, and the community. So they are different in that regard because it could be different people that own the coin. So the behavior of the price, the behavior of people say, who they onboard, it's going to be different, right? So they are definitely not the same coins. And I think the most important point, I think it was Frogboy who raised, which is it's kind of like the market to choose, but I mean this in a bigger perspective, not in choose between one another. I mean choose in the sense of meme coins reigning supreme, right? Because look, um, the evolution of money or hard money or what we consider a means of exchange, right? It kind of evolved, right? As Bitcoin started, then with the hard money concept, like at least digital, right, on a blockchain. Then we evolved into platforms and all that stuff, right? And then we came now where we are at meme coins, at the meme coin stage. But that because I have always thought that as stupid as it sounds, it's one thing that was always on the back of my mind was these meme fund things resonate with the younger people, right? So if it kind of sticks, it can actually grow a lot, right? And it's not like that there's going to be one that wins, right? Sure, there's going to be one that's going to be more valuable than the others, right? But it's going to change, right? It doesn't mean that the other coins disappear, right? I think like as the meme coin spectrum grows in terms of adoption and people who are onboarded, we'll have more Doge coins, right? More Shibas, more Pepes, more coins like these that where the communities evolve, right? Sometimes into the wrong place, like the Shiba chain or the Doge chain or all that crap that doesn't matter, and that's not the purpose, right? The purpose is just the fucking meme. It's just the fact that it's cool and the people like it. It's pointless and it's not pointless, right? It's both. So and that does speak to younger people, right? So I imagine that for younger guys, it's much easier to buy meme coin because it's much easier to understand that simple aspect of community than to have to learn everything that there is about to know about the fucking history of money so that you feel okay buying Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, right? So I mean, so it's like in the future it's much easier to onboard through meme coins, right? And I think that's the purpose of meme coins actually. So I don't know, like I think they're going to stick around, and I don't know which one is going to win, right? But I do think it's possible that in 5 years, right, a lot of these coins, perhaps all of these coins, these 20 RH meme coins, they're gonna be here. They're gonna have their own communities, and they're gonna pump, right? Not as much as they're gonna pump now, but they're still gonna pump, right? So, or perhaps they're gonna pump even more, right? Who knows? So I think that's the interesting part, at least for me, is the fact that they tap into a brand new mindshare, a place, let's say, where it's new. And meme coins, whether we like it or not, although they're like Dogecoin was like 2014, but that was like just the birth, right? Like people didn't consider like meme coins. It was Doge and like a few other things, but it was mostly Doge, right? I think right now it's when the meme coins are exploding because 2021 we cannot forget that it was still DeFi season, right? We had the Uniswap releasing what in 2020 or something like that. So this tech is still pretty new, right? The swapping, etc., right? So the DeFi season was, whether we like it or not, in 2021 too, right? We saw meme coins exploding, etc., but like the mindshare was mostly in DeFi, right? And only now I think it's becoming more acceptable to buy memes and hold memes and be happy about it and happy to share that, right? Because you don't look like a fucking idiot, basically. So yeah, I talked about a lot. Sorry.
That's okay. I love listening. You've been here so long educating us about the RH memes, so I knew you'd have a lot of good things to say. And communities are certainly developing around each of the RH memes, but before that happened, I actually want to share something interesting. I'm not yet part of any micro communities for the RH memes, and the way I've been differentiating them is basing them off of what they're known for as the OGs on other chains. The OG Pepe on Ethereum, Dogecoin, Tron. What I know of the originals is kind of how I'm differentiating them and attaching that same stigma to them, that same mentality, and that's how I'm differentiating them, and also their descriptions on Dex Screener, because those I actually find so fascinating, their official descriptions for the tokens, and that's how I'm choosing my picks, choosing the ones I'm investing in. And one more thing, that there's 2 XRPs. I call it like colored XRP and black XRP. But I think that's so interesting that there's 2 of them. So I actually think that that's really special. Like, why are there 2 XRPs, 2 RH meme XRPs? So I actually chose those
He
2 to
accidentally
invest
minted
in.
two because the first one, the image broke, so he re-uploaded another image,
Oh,
and it
okay.
didn't mint again. If you
Now
go
we have
look
the
at on
answer.
Pump.tires, the first one has no image, so it's like a broken image.
I just saw that when I went to Pump.tires. I'm like, where's the image? I see it on Dex Screener, but that makes a lot of sense now that the image broke. Okay. But I actually love that there's 2, like even before I knew that fact. So I picked both the XRPs as some of my favorites, and that there's a huge XRP army in real life. Like I said, again, whatever I know about the originals, the OGs on another chain, what do I know about it? The XRP army is huge. They're freedom-loving people. They believe so hardcore in XRP that it's going to be the new financial system. I staked a bet on that when I looked at the RH memes and learned about them. So I think XRP is pretty special too. Okay, then I've been ranting a little bit, but I thought you guys might find that interesting. Just my take being new here.
Yeah, Crypty, what you and Pedro were just saying sparked a little bit of visualization in my head. So basically, I view Pulsechain as a country. I view Ethereum as a country and Solana as a different country all around the world. Okay.
Yeah.
And I view Liberty Swap as the aeroplane, the plane, the airport, taking you to and from. It's the bridge from country to country. I view Pump.tires as like a key, I don't know, industrial area, key factory or brand or chain or Walmart all around the freaking island on this country. And I view the utility tokens as kind of like the infra tokens. They could be gas stations or something. I don't know, hospitals. Who knows? But basically, the key point there was like the suburbs, the towns, the neighbors, the communities. They're the tokens coming out of Pump.tires, the RH memes, the non-RH memes. They're just communities, they're neighbors. And I feel like because you guys have, and we have now Pump.tires, this freaking amazing infrastructure and tech. It's like, hey, now we can really, really populate this country, and really using Liberty Swap, using Pump.tires, we can fill in the country, populate it, have some fun, create some culture, and maybe, and just maybe, we'll create some absolute banger gems of communities that grow into brands, into movements, into TV shows. You see them on the billboards. You see them anywhere. You see them, like, for example, Giga, the Giga Chad meme over on Solana. They're a brand now. And then you look over to SBX 6900. They're a whole freaking movement that's infiltrating Reddit and LinkedIn, and they're the GME movement for this cycle. Like these communities, they can grow into huge things. But yeah, I just wanted to share that visualization.
I love that analogy. That's very fitting, yeah. Cellulose, Dr. Waza, do you guys have anything new you want to share since you're the latest to hop on?
Dude, the pork chop is amazing. I'm glad.
Okay.
Did you put some applesauce in that pork chop?
It was a complete success. I threw some what is this stuff called? It's like it's a manager special. It was like thrown on the discount seasoning bin. Bonfire Sweet Heat or something. I just threw a whole bunch of that on there. Some cayenne pepper, salt, pepper.
Nice.
Boom, boom. Threw in the air fryer. It was it's amazing. But yeah, dude, I guess I've just I've been around in this space for a while, and I made a lot of money. I've dropped a lot of money. I still don't have shit, if that is a tell to any of it. So it's like, know when to hold them, know when to fold them. When euphoria is at its height and you have the opportunity to better your life, I would say the greatest advice I could give anyone in the space is just do it. It doesn't matter what anyone else is going to say about it. If it betters your life and it's something that helps you advance as a person or your family or whatever, it helps you get better, just do it. You know, like I used to be, so like, I guess the term is link tard, and so chain link, and that was what drew me into the space. So actually COVID was what brought me into the space because I had nothing to do. I was a server at a Chili's in Mesquite, Texas, and they gave us like, I don't know, like $270 or whatever, and we're like, all right, good luck. Here's your severance. And I was like, all right, well, fuck you guys. I'm gonna file unemployment. And so was making like $3,700 a month, dude, off of this unemployment check. And I just got on Twitter, the time is Twitter, and I just saw a whole bunch of frogs, and I had no idea what really was going on. I just knew that the memes were funny as shit, and they were trolling the fuck out of everybody. And like Zeus Capital was trying to take Link down, and it was just, I don't know, it was captivating. And they were just fudding the shit out of Link like all the time. He turned around, like it was just Zeus Capital. They have a new report, and when I say report, dude, I mean like, the in-depth shit that we have now with like Zach XBT. Like he comes around saying, oh, like the report shows this and that, and bubble maps shows you this and that and whatever. And so, but they were like way more than that. They were like just, I mean, basically how Sergey was scamming everybody, and which is the Sergey Nazarov is, the spokesperson. He's scamming everyone for his Russian nail salons, and like, it's the biggest scam in the world, and get as far away. And so for me, like, I have oppositional defiance disorder. So like, if you tell me not to do it, I'm probably gonna go even harder to do whatever you tell me not to do. And so fucking aped in, man. And I mean, $4 linkies were not, at the time, I didn't really understand it, and I didn't understand ETH either. ETH was probably like $200 at the time, 220, and it was a crazy world, dude. I just had more fun. Like, that's what it's about, dude, is having fun on the internet. Talking shit, fudding other projects, having fun, making memes, dude. Like, that's what it's about. Like, all the other shit. What happens is people have great ideas, dude, and then they go into stuff and they end up like putting in more money than what they're prepared to lose, and they end up having to marry their bags, or aka a project, and they're just stuck with it. And so, what do you do when you're stuck with it? Well, you do everything you can do to make number go up, find an exit somehow, or like, just make the project work or make it successful. And that's one scenario. And then the other one is that you just genuinely love the people, you love the community, and you stick around for the people in the community. And you say, man, I really love these people, dude. I've gotten to know a lot of them. And if you're chronically online, like, I mean, most of us probably are, it happens like that. So yeah, man, that's just my backstory. Like, and so all the slimes, we went Link Rambo, dude. We said fuck Chainlink. Chainlink Hub made a website, and they didn't include me. That's how I took it. I was like, fuck you. Like, I'm not on the website. We're going Rambo, Link Rambo, and so that became like the slimes and the Rambos, and so that's like, some lore behind it, but whatever, it's just teach his own, dude. Do what you want, but like, for the most part, just it's about having fun, troll people, have
The
fun, and
best thing about memes is the trolling, and like they
that's
say,
what
like
makes
1,000 or a word is 1,000 or a picture is 1,000 words. And
yeah,
then the best description, Cripsy, if you have Deck Screener open, go to Hex and read the description out loud for us. You're gonna want to throw up after. But comparing that, there's like a meme going around where it's like understanding Hex, and the guy's like giving you this post-it note, and it's just like this long ass like note that you gotta read just to like understand what the hell it is. And it's like funnier to just to meme it. And like, how do you show like any other meme going on the timeline? You're not typing, you're just, here's a meme. And
yeah,
usually, like, if the meme wins you over, you're just buying. Like, you don't care what the tech is, you're just like, that was a funny meme, I'm buying, and that's it. That's all it took, is a
yeah,
funny photo, and you're in.
That's
yeah.
so
The
true.
tech, the tech gets, you get wrapped up in all the possibilities, and it's going to revolutionize the world, and you get, I got psyoped with that for a long time, dude. And that's, I mean, you're looking at every smart con that comes out and any new speaker and whatever. And I mean, it's easy, dude, but to get wrapped up in it, and, and maybe it is, maybe we're all right, or maybe we're all fucking wrong. Who knows, dude? I mean, I just, I think it's, we're in the right place. I think we're early. We're so early. You talk to anybody out there and they're like, what the fuck is, I mean, people just know of Bitcoin now, dude, because it's in the hundreds of thousands. Think of this shit if it was still tethering on 18, 20 grand still. Like, they wouldn't fucking know. They wouldn't know one thing about it. They wouldn't care about it. It would just,
They still don't know.
it,
They just know number goes up.
it,
There's a TikTok video of a guy walking around, and he's like walking up to a crowd, and it's like, what would you rather own? And it's like a picture of a Bitcoin, and then a picture of the Doge, the Shiba Inu, and everybody picks the Doge just because they're like, oh, it's a cute dog. They don't even know what the picture is. Like the Bitcoin's worth like way more, right? And they're just like, oh yeah, it's a cute dog. I'll pick that one.
yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. It's wild, man. It's a wild space. It's the greatest space though out of any place that you could ever be at. You're in the perfect place at the perfect time, dude. I mean, there's no greater opportunity than here. Like, we'll figure it out eventually. I mean, I hope, dude, and be able to escape the wage slave. I mean, that's the biggest appeal, is having an unlimited amount of time to do what you actually love to do and what you actually want to do, instead of having this overwhelming suppression of remedial bullshit that doesn't take any amount of brain space to do, and you're just like, oh, let me grunt through this some more, so I can pay these fucking bills. But, we're all going to make it, man.
I hear you.
That's so true. Well said, man. Well said.
I think we all feel that way right now.
And I gotta say, yeah, it is fun. It is. I tell you what, over on Ethereum with the Apu boys, that mostly half of them are from the Link Marines. We're just shit posting to billions, and it's really fun. It's really fun, and that's why the die RH meme kind of like speaks out to me, because look, honestly, every time I hear or see a pDai thing, it's like, bro, man, for every time I hear it or see it, I should put in $1 into RH die just because it's funny, and it's funny. The thought of it just absolutely ripping, and then the pDai guys are like, what?
I think that's
Man.
another reason why RH kicked Pump.tires out so fast. It's just because like so many people are getting rinsed on chain to all these scams, and like quite literally nothing has went up on the entire ecosystem except his memes. And yeah, it just sucks to see your whole community lose for 2 years straight and just get rugged after rugged after rugged.
Yeah.
So it's good that he kind of locked him into something where, at least the lick is locked. You could still lose, but you just gotta buy more.
Yeah,
You gotta
it was
keep buying the
honestly
dip.
really good to see him like actually create it, and go with the flow, go with the emotion and the excitement, the attention. Yeah, it just
I
goes
want
to
to
show
see him
people
spin
why
up
he's
that
my
dev
number.
wallet and start making more memes. It'd be funny.
Yes, that would be cool. I mean, what you can kind of tell that it was, what Pedro was saying, like, yeah, look at the 20 memes, and it's like so boomer memes, like boomer. The creation of the memes. He didn't create a BNB one. You know what I mean? He didn't create a BNB.
If he spun up that wallet, and if he just like did a soft launch and only bought like 10 million of each, bro, the amount of like what do they call that, like an altcoin season, you'd see the entire chain like go ballistic again. All the cores would dump so fast, and everybody be full porting into them so quick. Oh, it'd be a good time.
The time is now. The time is now. Memes. And I feel like memes, the word, doesn't give it enough justice of what it actually entails, the whole emotional side and depth of these things. Yeah, it goes way deeper.
I've been like slowly onboarding people. Like there's 2 or 3 whales that reached out to me just because they have so much capital on chain and they have nothing to do with it except like farm ink. And they're like, what do I do with this? I'm like, well, you could try to build a community, and as you trying to build the community through Pump.tires, you can treat it as a piggy bank, right? Like the most you're gonna lose is 40 million pulse if you self bond or do anything stupid. But you can also just slowly buy it up and allow other users to come into under you if it's funny enough, and they also want to meme it on the timeline. It'll just grow by itself, and you'll have like your own little community. Or worst comes to worst, it's just a piggy bank, and you're down 40 mil pulse, and then if it launches, and yeah, you can still build liquidity pools and do whatever you want after that. But yeah.
Hey guys, I'm looking on Dex Screener right now, and the 24-hour volume of Hex is 1 million. We've had 530,000 buy and 528,000 sell. And I'm curious, I'm like, okay, 1 million of volume is a lot. And I just flipped over to BitcoinHex, the RH meme. The volume's only 9,800. It's a huge difference, and the Bitcoin Hex chart is just looking beautiful. There's lots of consolidation right now, just like getting tighter and tighter since August 31st. Bitcoin Hex has just been consolidating, going sideways, and it's just looking so good. But
Can you read out loud the
yeah.
description of Hex, like the hex, like
Mhm.
the inflation bugged one?
It says,
wait,
okay, the
isn't
description of Hex is you can mine Hex by running some code on your computer or phone once and waiting anywhere from 1 to 5,555 days. You choose how long. Then you can mint your rewards by running some code once more. You earn larger rewards based on how long you commit to wait. Longer pays better. The APY for Hex mining of average length is 38%. Imagine minting Hex rewards while the price of Hex is going up. You win twice. Hex is totally decentralized. You mint your own rewards. There are no middlemen in Hex.
Whoa.
And
Execute, that is so true. That was gay. I love my gay friends. But I mean this was yeah. And then you compare it to the Bitcoin Hex one and it's like, yeah, we're gonna do a 10,000x. Yeah. It's like shit. You only needed to say that sentence, not read out a freaking paragraph.
yeah,
Damn, I didn't know
to
that.
contrast it, Bitcoin Hex's description is Bitcoin Hex, Richard's original vision. It is designed to do a 10,000x.
Boom, I'm in. Boom.
What more do you want, right? What more do you want? It's there. It's literally there, right? It's written. So I mean, because a lot of people, especially nowadays, right, because of the charts, they kind of avoid talking about the price, right, and how important the fucking price is for adoption, right, for new buyers. It's astonishing that they ignore this, like, and I cannot ignore this. Like I'm very objective, or try to be objective, right? And it's crazy not to think about it, right? That it has so much less sell pressure, so much less people who have onboarded it, and the narrative is so strong that it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy not to have a pretty juicy bag. That's my opinion, man. That's what I gotta say.
Hey, Pedro, are there any updates you want to give on rhmemes.com? First of all, freaking amazing website, guys. Like, I was so excited when he showed it off, and it looked aesthetically, it was just it's really fun, really fun. It's so useful, really.
Thanks, man. I think right now the volume is not working very well because I updated to Morales, but I was like a cheap bastard and I didn't want to pay. The Morales, what is like whatever, like subscription, right? I use the free one, so I'm using like 4 different API keys. Well, but I'm just gonna use one, right? I'm gonna pay. So that problem should be solved like tomorrow when I work at it, right? Because I'm on the couch chilling. I'm not gonna do it after. I'm just gonna watch, I don't know, Mr. Bean or something, and then fall asleep. But yeah, but yeah, but the updates. Yeah, I wanna add a bunch of stuff that you actually mentioned, Frogboy. So like all that stuff, all literally the stuff that you mentioned that I don't remember now because I'm tired. But all of the stuff I remember reading, and I was like, yeah, this is good. This is really good. And besides that, what I do remember is that I want to have a page specifically for the narratives, right? And it's like what do I mean? I mean like a page that contains kind of like cards for each coin, and when you open a card, you kind of have like the story, right? It's not only the deck screener description, it's like the story, right? Because some of them have like, you know, nuggets and pieces like BitcoinHex with the Telegram group, and, you know, like, I don't know, like whatever, right? Like we can collect a lot of different information about the coins and speculations and, you know, what like memes people are doing, like, etc. Right? So I want to add that because I think it's really important, like, to create culture, right? Right now the page is very, you know, linked to the prices, right, and to the liquidity, let's say. And if you go to the alpha page, which to access you actually need to have, I think it's what, 1 million erection. I think it's 1 million. Yeah, it's 1 million erection, which is a meme coin from Pump.tires. Um, and if you access that page, it has a bunch of comparisons between the RH memes and the cores and pDai, and like a lot of alpha regarding, like, you know, which coin could be, you know, could be the best buy or best poised for you to buy, let's say. So there's like lots of information there. So if you can access that page, I think it's worth it. And then the bragging, you can also compare, like, you know, see other wallets and see how they're doing in terms of the memes and liquidity, and how, if they're like providing a lot of liquidity or not, all that sort of information, right, in the brag page. So yeah, I'm gonna spend some time this week working on it, like adding some improvements, and pay for the Morales API thing so that the volume, you know, comes up nicely, and don't have those problems, instead of being a cheap bastard, man. Sometimes I'm so cheap, man. It's ridiculous. It's like $50 a month. It's nothing, right? But I'm like, no, I'm gonna try it for free. No, not gonna pay him. Man, cheap bastard I am.
And that's $50 that could go into an RH meme, though, you know?
No, sure, but it's not even about that. It's like, I'm just like, oh man, I can't be bothered, you know. So I was like,
Yeah.
I was like just literally flipping through my, I don't know, many Gmail accounts just to get, like, you know, another API key and just like throw it there, and you know, just use that one for free. But yeah, but I'm gonna pay and fix that volume problem that I have on the main page. But I haven't touched that, like, in, I don't know, in the last few days, because I had like my son's baptism, and it was a party with 200 people, so I was a little bit busy. So yeah, I didn't touch that for like the past few days, but I'm gonna do it like tomorrow for sure. Yeah, and then thanks for
bro.
mentioning, Frogboy. Thanks, bro.
No. Do you have a tip jar? Like, let's just say, you know how you said it's $50 a month and stuff.
No.
Do
You
you
cannot, like, no, you cannot give me money. You don't have my addresses. Like, fuck all that. I don't want that. No, never. No, don't want that. I mean, it's like, I own that shit, right? Like, so I should pay for it, right? Yeah, yeah, it's absolutely fine like that. I like that arrangement. So it's,
Damn.
yeah, it's fine.
You're a good
Legend,
dude,
legend,
Pedro.
legend,
We
legend.
appreciate you a lot.
No problem. Thanks.
Execute, I saw you had your hand up. The floor is yours.
I forgot what I was going to say, so I put it down. But I would recommend you put out a donation address because you'll get a bunch of free stuff. I put out a doxed wallet from my main developer wallet, and yeah, got a whole bunch of cool NFTs and just random stuff. So you don't even have to like dump it or anything, but it's nice to know you're appreciated. And if somebody does send you a good amount of money, then you know you're paying the cloud service and whatever else.
Yeah, I can consider that, but like for now, it's yeah, I don't want that. I rather much if people buy the RH memes with the money, right? Instead of giving it to me, just buy the fucking memes. Don't give it to me, because it's much better for you, to be honest. I will consider it, and I appreciate advice. Execute. Like for sure, but like so far, it has been like perfectly fine, right? I can manage that. It's okay. But yeah, if it, like, at some point, if it grows a lot, sure, like the cost could be significant, I guess. So yeah, I'll consider it, but for now, it's absolutely fine, man. It's good. I can take care of it.
It works both ways too, right? Sometimes if you want to build something better or better tech comes out and you can't afford it, then you
Yeah,
have
sure.
that extra capital on the side somebody gave you for API service is pretty expensive at the end of the day.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. But I think we're actually very lucky that we got Morales, man. Morales is They're very good, man. I've used them a lot in the past, right? Like in BNB, in like different chains for different projects, and I like them a lot. And I was very like when Pulsechain launched, I was like hopeful because I haven't got such a huge bag of Pulse, right? So I was like, man, maybe the guy will be crazy enough to actually, add this to Morales, and he did, man. And I was like so excited because it fucking helps a lot, right? It is expensive, right? Especially if you use a lot of APIs, then it can be expensive, but it's so fucking useful, man. It's amazing. It's almost as good as running a node, I think.
Guys, I was gonna ask. I'd love to jump on some, I don't know, other spaces and other people, especially maxis and people in mainstream Pulse chain. I feel like if you've got any suggestions or people you'd like us to talk to or jump on a video with or a space with, yeah, leave it in the comments or just send through a message, send through some suggestions because I feel like we've got nothing to fear here. I feel like this is the golden narrative. It's super clear, it's super obvious. We're having tons of fun, freaking shit posting to millions, and yeah, I'd love to jump on other people's channels and spaces. So any suggestions, shout out because I feel like it will help even more because the momentum already is so good to see. It's really good. It's pretty solid. So yeah, let's continue to shatter the mainstream Pulsechain cognosphere glass.
When is when Frogboy on Pump.tires and when Cryptygirl?
Dude, when I first jumped on your space, someone made a frog boy coin. I was like, what?
Every
No.
time, bro, we'll be running a space and somebody will say like some stupid phrase instantly. Ticker. I'm like, Jesus, guys, come on! Like nobody's gonna buy that. Why are you wasting money?
Wow.
Yeah, there's everybody that joins the space and has like a good like little spiel. Somebody usually makes them a ticker and it runs up to like 5-10K and then it crashes. But yeah,
It's cool that you guys have the tech. We got the tech to do that. That's awesome.
I won't be making
you're
any
on board.
Crypty coins. If you see them, they're not mine.
Yeah, let me go refresh the page. I'll bet you in the next couple of minutes somebody will be.
Yeah, but
I
Crypty, think about this. If you wait a little bit, the dev will rug it or sell, right? It will dump a lot, will create a bottom, and then you can swoop in and CTO the fucking coin, right? And nobody know which coin you will do that to, right? So there can be 100, Crypty coins, and then you pick the one with the worst chart ever, right? And you just fucking pump that shit, right? So you could do that. That's I think that's actually better, right? Like you allow somebody else to launch the coin, you allow them to have fun, and then when they're done selling, you just swoop in and you pick it up, and then they're left behind, which is even better, right?
I would still launch it from like a side wallet and then rug it on purpose, and then when you want to CTO it, then CTO it, because having that dev wallet might be valuable in the future. If you know what I mean.
Sure. No, sure. But I like that approach. So you launch it, you rug it, and then you CTO from another wallet. I like that's amazing. I like it.
Yeah. Even if I like some of the memes that I see, I just copy pasta. I'm like, nah, that's mine now. I don't even care.
Hey guys, I'd love to hear some closing thoughts to wrap up our space.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'll just say, yeah, it's pretty obvious. Everything feels amazing. It feels awesome. It feels really fun. Fresh air. Thankfully, thank God, there's some fresh air over here. Yes, because I was looking over. I was being bombarded with shilling of Pulsechain, and I was like, oh. But now this thing has just popped off, and it's really fun. And yeah, thanks for welcoming. And it's just going to get bigger and bigger, and more of mainstream Pulsechain is just going to wake up. Like yeah, they're gonna realize that the edge, the alpha, are definitely with the smaller accounts, and shout out to the bigger accounts too. But a lot of the edge and alpha is for the smaller accounts, and And if it's more hated, oh my gosh, hell yeah. There's more emotion, there's more tension. And yeah, honestly, I'm just having fun. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you.
I love that. Thank you.
For me, it's man, guys. If you don't own this meme, just buy them. I think everybody here owns a little bit, of these coins. At least one coin, right? At least most probably. But there's like 19 others, and man, I think that they're gonna do great numbers, especially because they have such low liquidity, and the market hasn't realized, as Frogboy has just said, that these are RH coins, and that usually he likes his coins to perform well, right? So these are newer, therefore these are better. This is my conclusion.
Mm-hmm. Good thoughts.
Thank you for the opportunity this evening to speak with you all, and thoroughly enjoyed listening to your space. And love the energy. Keep up the momentum. Closing thought is you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Wayne Gretzky.
That's potent. Thank you.
Thank you, Crypty. Awesome space. Thank you all. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for allowing us to speak.
Hey, thank you guys. Thank you, each of you, for hopping on and each of you listening. I had so much fun and I learned a lot too. I like how each of you brought a different perspective, made me add some facets to the diamonds of what RH memes are, and I'll be learning more. So I want to host another space soon, and we can we can learn some more and discover, find out new cool things about them. Thanks, guys, for hopping on.
Thanks, Crypty. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. My pleasure, man.
Have a good night, everyone. Sending love.